When it comes to money, we're always taught that being smart is everything. But what if the real key to financial success has almost nothing to do with your IQ? We're about to dive into why your behavior, not your brain power, is your single greatest financial asset.
I mean, think about it for a second. This is a huge question. We all know incredibly brilliant people who just can't seem to get ahead with their money. And this isn't a knock on their intelligence at all. It's just proof that financial success is a totally different game, played on a completely different field.
And this is where we all get it wrong. We're trained to focus on the stuff on the left. The technical jargon, the complex theories, the endless spreadsheets. But real lasting financial success? That's a soft skill. It's driven entirely by what's on the right. How you behave, how patient you are, and how well you can control your emotions when things get messy. So that huge gap between what's technically right on a spreadsheet and what we actually do in the real world, well, that creates a fascinating problem. And this is what we're calling the money paradox. It's that massive difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it. When you boil it all down, financial success isn't about mastering some complex formula nobody understands. It's really about mastering yourself. It's having the discipline to save, the patience to let your investments do their thing, and, crucially, the emotional stability to not hit the panic button when everyone else is freaking out. Okay, so if behavior is the real key, how do we start to think about all this differently? Let's get into the mindset shift that's absolutely required for this. And it all starts by acknowledging a couple of powerful invisible forces that are always, always at play. A huge part of this new mindset is just humility. It's so tempting to look at every success story and think, wow, what a genius, and every failure and think, what an idiot. But the world is just way messier than that. The twin forces of luck and risk are constantly shaping what happens to us. Recognizing that keeps you grounded when you win and helps you get back up when you fail. So with that in mind, let's talk about goals. We all have them, but there's one goal in particular that is unbelievably common and unbelievably destructive. Any guesses what it is? Yep, that's it. Just more. It's such a dangerous trap because the goalposts never, ever stop moving. If your only real goal is more, you will literally never feel like you have enough. You'll take on crazier risks, work yourself to the bone, and sacrifice your own happiness, chasing a target that's always just a little further down the road. So what's the antidote to this drop? It's contentment. The ability to just stop and say, you know what? I have enough. That is a financial superpower. Figuring out what enough looks like for you, that's not just some philosophical daydream. It's one of the most important financial decisions you will ever make. It's the only way to get off the hamster wheel for good. All right, so we've got the mindset sorted. Now let's get practical. How do we turn all this thinking into simple behaviors that actually build and, just as important, protect our wealth for the long haul? First up, getting wealthy. Building wealth, especially from nothing, usually means you have to play offense. It means you got to take some smart risks, stay optimistic about the future, and be willing to put yourself out there and take a few chances. It's a very active, forward-looking game. But, and this is so important, the skills that get you wealthy are pretty much the exact opposite of the skills that keep you wealthy. Getting rich is offense. Staying rich is all about defense. It requires humility, a focus on sheer survival, and a healthy dose of paranoia that you could lose it all. That's what keeps you in the game long enough for your wealth to really work for you. And what is it that makes that wealth grow? Well, it's not about trying to find that one lottery ticket stock that goes to the moon. It's about harnessing the most powerful, and maybe the most underestimated, force in all of finance: time. And the power of time really comes down to compounding. As you can see here, in the short term, the gains are tiny. They're almost boring, right? But as your money starts to make its own money, and then that money starts making even more money, well, the growth curve just goes exponential. The real magic isn't in huge, flashy wins. It's in good, solid, consistent gains over a very, very long time. So, to give compounding all that time it needs to work its magic, you need a plan you can actually stick with. A finance textbook might tell you the rational thing to do is save 50% of your income, but if that makes you totally miserable, guess what? You're going to abandon it. A reasonable plan, say saving 15%, is one you can actually follow for decades. And that makes it infinitely more powerful than the perfect plan you quit after 2 months. This brings us to our last and, honestly, most important section. We've talked about the mindset and the method, but what's the point of all this? What is money actually for?
It's not a bigger house or a faster car. I mean, sure, those things can be nice, but they aren't the end goal. The absolute highest form of wealth, the real dividend you get from all your saving and investing, is something so much more valuable.
This is it. This is the whole ballgame. The ultimate dividend that money pays is freedom. The ability to wake up one morning and just say, I can do whatever I want today. That, right there, is the truest form of wealth there is. So, what does that freedom actually look like in real life? It looks like this. It's having the power to do what you want, when you want, with the people you want to be with for as long as you want. It's being able to handle an emergency without panicking. This is what you're buying with every dollar you save. And once you have enough money to buy that freedom, the entire game changes. The goal isn't about getting more anymore, it's about protecting what you have. It all boils down to one simple rule. Never, ever risk something you have and need for something you don't have and don't need. So we're going to leave you with this thought. The ultimate purpose of money is to give you control over your own time. So the single most important financial question you can ever ask yourself is this one. What does a rich life, a life full of that freedom, actually look like for you? Answering that question is the first and most important step on the path to finding true wealth.